Breaking news, the latest data shows that California's job market is in a complete free fall. Coming up, we'll share with you the alarming data and how it's going to get worse before it gets better, and what we're doing to protect your job and put California back on a path of prosperity. All that and more coming up. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state representative representing District 75 in the state assembly. Well, it's not a surprise to many of us who are out there hearing stories of people losing jobs, getting their hours cut back, or finding that they just have decided to give up on trying to find a job. California's job market is in complete freefall. Here's the data that I released recently on Twitter. 25% increase in unemployment in the last 12 months. That is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, covering the state of California. We've had a 25% increase in unemployed persons in the state, but it gets worse than that, and I'll share that in a moment. California's job creation is only coming from two sectors, government and healthcare. And let me tell you, healthcare shouldn't be considered private sector because most of the healthcare jobs are driven by government programs, the government spending. We are seeing all the other sectors contract. When your economy is only creating public sector jobs, government jobs that are having to be financed through higher taxes, that becomes a real problem. And it's not like the other states in the country are having a similar problem. They're not, actually. We're seeing Texas and Florida post robust job creation numbers across all sorts of sectors. So California has the highest unemployment rate, but it's not just that we have the highest unemployment rate. Things are rapidly getting worse. That's why I say the job market, the bottom has fallen out of the California job market, and it is getting worse. Why? Well, we've got the highest taxes and mandates. The cost of operating a business in California is substantially higher than any other state, bar none. The cost of paying employees is higher. They just imposed more minimum wage increases and benefits. They also have all sorts of union mandates and workplace and labor regulations that make it absolutely insane to consider hiring in the state of California. We also know that predatory laws like AB 5, which bans small businesses from hiring independent contractors in our state, those mandates are just now fully kicking in, meaning that people who are in the gig economy, the independent contractors, are seeing more and more and more of their job opportunities wiped away. It's the regulatory burden. It's the tax burden. It's the cost burden that's destroying jobs in California. Many businesses have gotten the message. Do not invest, do not expand. When someone leaves a job in California, just eliminate it. Don't hire and refill it. The cutbacks are being seen across the board. Now, our unemployment rate is the highest in the country. It's about 25% to 30% higher than the national average. But the unemployment rate does not tell the full story. Cal Matters actually has a pretty good article about this topic. It says California's unemployment rate remained unchanged at 5.3%. That's in September. It's actually gone up since then. That doesn't sound alarming unless one dives more deeply into the data. It says that more than 1 million California adults who say they want a job can't find jobs. That's 64,100 more people than a year prior. The rate, however, unemployment rate, and the number of people, unemployed, officially unemployed, is inflated in California by a couple factors. First, it only looks at people who are trying to get a job. Many people have given up trying to get a job because it's too hard or they're not interested in one. More likely, it's too hard. It's called the labor participation rate. The labor participation rate was at 68% for adults in 1990. It dropped to now below 63%. Now, that 5% drop may not seem like a lot, But 5% of what? If we have 40 million people, let's say at least 33 million of them are of age to potentially be searching for jobs. That's 1.65 million people wanting jobs that have just simply given up on being part of the workforce. And by the way, when the labor participation rate drops and your unemployment rate stays the same or goes higher, you got an even bigger problem. Because with less people looking for work, that should mean that your unemployment rate goes down because of the only available people left seeking jobs. It's a smaller pool to hire from. We've actually had the unemployment rate go up in California as the labor participation rate goes down. That is a toxic duo. It means you have an even bigger problem. Less people are wanting to get jobs, but despite that, more people who still are left in the pot seeking jobs, more people are not able to get jobs. The other thing is we don't know how people are, how much employment they have. Some people are considered employed, counted as employed, if they're working for as little as 1 hour per week. The state of California counts you as employed if you are underemployed. So you could have a job where you're barely getting hours and you want more hours. You're underemployed, not unemployed, but underemployed. And that's not available in California for that person. It's a very minimalist definition of the employment statistics. And as Cal Matters actually admits, and again, Cal Matters tends to be a little left-leaning, that minimalist definition makes employment statistics appear more positive than reality warrants. Again, I've got to give credit to Cal Matters for at least reporting on this. The U6 number, the U6 rate is defined as total unemployed plus persons marginally attached to the labor force. So those would be people who want more hours, but they're part-time because of lack of work. The unemployment rate of marginally unemployed people plus unemployed people is 7.7% nationwide. In California, our U6 rate is 9.6%, the highest of any state. 1 in 10 workers underemployed. Now, how do we get out of this? Well, first, you got to stop taxing the residents and the businesses out of the state. We're losing businesses. We're losing high-income families and middle-class families to other states. That creates a drain. Less businesses, less jobs. We also have to deal with the issue of regulatory barriers, like bills like AB 5 that prohibit small businesses from hiring independent contractors. That puts people in the underemployed category. We've got to get back to that. Plus, a lot of those small businesses don't want to do business in California, period, because of those rules, and they take their jobs, their operations to another state where they don't have an AB 5 law to worry about. All of these issues have to be tackled. It takes a slash and burn approach to regulation. California Democrats are liberal. They do not want to deal with the cost of operating, the cost of living, the cost of creating a job. To them, they view it as, let's just go ahead and regulate more. Instead of going in the right direction, they're actually going in the wrong direction. Every day in Sacramento, I'm seeing more and more bills proposed that impose more regulation rather than taking regulations off the books. It's insane. I urge you to go to our website, reformcalifornia.org. Check out our Contractor Reform California. It's a 10-point plan that will deal with the prosperity that we're lacking in this state and help us create jobs. We're going to reduce cost of living. That's our first bill. Second, we're going to stop the massive tax increases that are killing jobs with the Taxpayer Protection Act. We're going to force California state government to live within its means with a Balanced Budget Accountability Act. We'll support job creation in the education sector through the Education Choice Bill, which gives $13,000 annually in education vouchers for students. We also are going to deal with homelessness and crime, the crime and grime wave in California. We'll secure the border. When you have a secure border, you're not going to get predatory, cheap labor coming in that businesses can use to replace good workers who are here legitimately as citizens. These are all bills that I believe will deal with some of the economic strain that we've seen here in California. There are other bills that we're going to introduce to cut regulation, to cut mandates, to make it a more business-friendly state, a job creation welcoming state. But this is a good start, the Contractor Reform California. Check it out at reformcalifornia.org. If you can, please chip in a contribution. We are only supported by grassroots contributors like you. So every day this show is brought to you because of the resources you give us to do this work. When we recruit and train and support candidates for office, it's because you contributed to allow us to do that. And when we put ballot measures on the ballot or fight bad proposals like the minimum wage hike or tax increases in the 2024 election, we do that only because you support us. So chip in a contribution at that website, reformcalifornia.org. We can make California once again an engine of prosperity. We can create jobs. We can protect your job, but not until we change the policies that have led to us having a absolute drop in the job market, unlike we've seen in decades. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, California State Representative and Chairman of Reform California. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.